I know we've spoken with you in the past and explained to people about rare earth materials, what they're used for, but it's been a while. So why don't you walk us through this again? You're named MP because MP Materials owns and operates Mountain Pass. That's the only integrated rare earth mining and processing site in North America. These rare earth materials are used for things like electric vehicles. So walk us through a little bit what happened with the China squeeze.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you. And so rare earth materials, the key use case are for magnets for electric vehicles, wind turbines, drones, robots. Pretty much any advanced motion technology of the 21st century requires these materials. The key thing, and I think it's an important distinction as people think about the landscape for electrification, which is very clearly one of, if not the most powerful theme in the markets in the coming years, is that for us, for rare earth materials, our stuff goes into the magnets for the motors for most of these things. So when you think about batteries and some of those other things where you have technology that is sort of still up in the air, and you've spent a lot of time on the air talking about hydrogen versus electric and some of these other things. No matter how the energy gets to the motor, you pretty much need rare earth materials in these technologies to make the move. So it's a very important industry. And as you said, the Chinese dominate this supply chain. They have north of 80% of this supply chain. And so we are restoring that right here in the United States of America. And our mission is to make sure that there is a strong American company that can also lead in this space.
America led this race for rare earth materials for a very long time until China came in and started doing it without being environmentally conscious with how they go about their mining. How do you tackle that when they're still not very conscientious about how they go about doing this and you're going to be held to different standards?
Yeah. So the Chinese were very strategic. They methodically, over a couple decades, took over this industry and they lowered the cost of capital, they lowered environmental standards, and they really did what it took to take over a strategic industry. The good news for us at MP Materials is, frankly, I founded this company 3 years ago. We bought these assets out of bankruptcy. The predecessor had spent nearly $2 billion building a state-of-the-art, environmentally friendly facility. Becky, this facility was built a little over 5 years ago in the state of California. You can imagine how important environmental standards are. And so we have the good fortune to have a foundation in that. And that's really important to us. We want to make sure that, not only are we going to be a strong American competitor in this space, we already are. We're the second largest producer in the world, but we're going to do it in an environmentally friendly way. We recycle our water. We have dry tailings. We really have a lot of things that we're proud about, on that front. And that will always be, part of the DNA of our company.
The final part of the process, though, still involves China, correct? And when will you be able to no longer be reliant on China for this?
Sure. So the supply chain now is all in China. So Tesla, GM, pretty much everybody buys all of their magnets in China. They don't have a choice. The mission of our company is to give Tesla, GM, Apple, all of the great American companies, we want to give them a choice. And so right now we're making an intermediate product. Over the coming year and change, we will make the separated products. And then one of the great things about today is, we now have north of $500 million of cash on our balance sheet. It's completely equitized. We have no debt. And we're going to just continue to invest in this mission. We believe very passionately. We have a team of very proud Americans working on site at Mountain Pass. Obviously, today is a big day we're going to try to enjoy. But tomorrow we get back to work on making sure that American industry has an option to buy these materials in the Western Hemisphere. And, that's our mission. And we're going to reinvest until we get it done, unwavering.
Very quickly, why did you go the way of a Spac? I know that's kind of the way this year, but why?
Sure. So if you think about it, a Spac, and there's going to be, I think when you look back a few years from now, there'll be quite a diversity of outcomes in this space. But a Spac really allows sort of a creative capital solution as well as the ability to bring in partners. We were able to have Fortress was a great partner to us. We were able to get to market quicker. We were able to go over the wall and bring in some great institutional investors like Slate Path, Lee Cooperman, Chamath Palihapitiya. Our pipe was, really had, great blue chip investors. And so for us, it was a great mechanism to kind of get our company done thoughtfully. But from here, we're just an NYSE listed company like any other. We have to execute. And I think in SPACs, just like in IPOs, at the end of the day, once day one begins, you have to execute, and ultimately over time, the value of your company is going to be driven by the cash flow you create for your investors.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.